Hello and welcome to the Secret Agents of Consciousness podcast. My name is Genevieve Faulkner, your host, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hey! So today I wanted to talk to you guys about co-creating your reality with your body. So are you doing that? And how much are you doing that? So how much each day do you include your body in your life? How much don't you do that? How much of your life is created kind of on automatic programming from your mind that excludes your body from the creation? So what if it actually creates way greater for you to include your body in every single choice you make? Now, in order to do that, you've got to be willing to receive from your body and have an open kind of relationship, so to speak, where you can be constantly receiving information from your body to know what it requires, what it desires, and what's going to create the most for both of you. And you can't do that if you've got judgment of your body, because basically every single judgment you have of your body solidifies energy and creates a wall between you and your body, which stops you receiving the information that your body could give to you. And there is so much information that your body can give to you, because your body is like a giant receiver that receives awareness from the world around you all of the time. And so if you've created a lot of separation from your body, you will be missing out on so much information that maybe not all of it's relevant to you, but it could be something that could contribute to you creating a lot greater in your reality. So first of all, what if you were willing to kind of get brutally honest with yourself about how you're judging your body, why you're judging your body, and what if you chose to not do that anymore? What if you actually made the commitment to you to kind of okay, from now on, I'm going to give up judging my body. Now, that may be a process, in my experience, making that choice, it doesn't happen every moment. There's still times when I judge my body. But the key to kind of ending that is the willingness to practice being present in your life. Because the more you're willing to be present, the more you'll catch yourself out when you find yourself doing it, and then you can make a different choice. On top of that, you can use the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, which if you haven't heard before, you can go to www.theclearingstatement.com, and you can use that to unravel, destroy and uncreate all of the judgments you already have about your body that's stopping you from creating something greater. Because what if it's all of those judgments and those points of view and everything that we've stored that actually creates kind of the formation of what our body is and what's capable with it? And what if letting go of that actually creates this kind of undefined space where your body can have way more choice about what it bees and how it contributes to you and what it looks like. If you are judging your body for how it looks, if you keep judging it, you're locking it in looking that way, right? So it's kind of if you're judging yourself for you're wanting to lose weight or something, and you're constantly telling yourself, oh my God, I'm so fat, or whatever you're judging yourself as. It's you're just adding, your point of view creates your reality. And so you're just adding to that creation by doing that. At the same time, any judgment is actually kind of toxic. There's been studies done with plants where one plant will be, treated with kindness, the other one will have judgment directed at it. And the ones that have judgment directed at it die faster. They don't grow as well. They don't thrive. And so what if you allowed your body to thrive? So whose points of view, whose judgments are you using to create your current body as it is? Who did you learn to have a body from? And if you look back at that, is that the relationship you really want to have with your body? Because we, as people, most people have been taught to kind of exclude their body a lot. And so what if you could have a relationship with your body that is beyond what anyone you know has had with their body? What if you actually got to question about kind of like, what's possible for my body? What's different about my body that I've not acknowledged? And if I didn't project and conclude that my body was the same as other people's, what would it be capable of? Like, what if your body's got all sorts of mad skills? What if it's got all sorts of capacities that some people might consider like to be seen as impossible, and yet, what if they are possible? It's only if you're willing to be in question and go beyond the conclusions about what you've decided your body is that you can begin to kind of unlock all of the things beyond this reality that your body may be able to do. And from that space, it kind of takes you out of the place of having like a lot of wrongness with your body, or perhaps any kind of disease or disorders, and allows you to create like this joy of living and joy of embodiment. Because when you're willing to acknowledge the capacities that you have, you don't be the effect of them. And it's the same with your body. So what capacities does your body have that you've not acknowledged? What if you're willing to use those capacities to create a greater reality for yourself? And what would your body be if you had no judgment of it? Would it have the same kind of density to it that it has now? Would it have the same kind of space? Would it look the same? Like, would it start to heal? Would it start to look younger? Would it change like the conditions that you have? What is possible for you in your body beyond this reality that you've never acknowledged before? So co-creating with your body. One of the things that like Access Consciousness kind of teaches is the tool heavy and light. And basically it's like what's true for you is always light. And you can use this tool with bodies. So like when I'm running bars or teaching people how to run bars, I'll often tell them like, you know, you can kind of like say in your head, hey body, can you show me what yes is? And you might sense this kind of like expanded space with their body. And then you can say like in their head, in your head, hey body, show me a no. And you might get like a contraction. And then from there, you can ask questions in your mind to the body, which sounds like totally weird and crazy, but basically there is no separation. Like, you know, energy is all connected. And when you engage with something, you can receive all sorts of awareness from it. And so from that space, you can actually ask it questions and receive awareness. The more willing you are willing to be in question with your body, the more awareness you will receive. Because we tend to lock all sorts of information, like anything, basically like with bodies, with your body kind of like bringing in, like being aware of all of this like information from the world around us. If you're not willing to kind of receive that awareness or that communication, or you've got some sort of resistance or points of view about it, you can often like lock that energy in your body. And so the more you're willing to be in question with your body, the more it can give you the information, and then nothing has to kind of like get like stuck and solidified within your body, which creates so much more ease. And so what if you started to practice actually having a relationship with your body? Because are you having, or better yet, a creationship? Like, are you creating with your body, or have you just kind of, you know, are you just kind of treating it like the furniture? What contribution can it be to you that you haven't acknowledged? So at the beginning of every day, you kind of want to start there. You want to start by like including your body with like every choice. So, hey body, what would you like to wear today? Different clothes have different energies, and depending on what you choose will often help to create the day. And so you want to go with whatever is the lightest choice. You sometimes get a real sense if your body's kind of wanting to wear something, but it's the same for eating. Like, what if you asked your body every single time you were going to eat? Like, hey body, what would you like to eat? Because we tend to have like all of this like automatic programming around how much we should eat, what we should eat, like that totally excludes our body. And when we tend to eat things that our body doesn't want, or we overeat, we can use the energy that we could be using for creation to then like digest all the food that we don't actually require. And so if you were including your body in your life, what would you be wearing? What would you be eating that's different to what you're currently like wearing and eating? So the thing is with bodies is sometimes you kind of like, when it comes to eating, you might get a craving for something, and that might be your body telling you that it wants to eat something. Now, when it tastes really good, that's because your body requires it. It's asking for it. The second food starts to taste different, or drink starts to taste different, kind of like wine, you know, you have like a glass or two and it tastes amazing, and then like the third, fourth, fifth one or whatever tastes like, you know, a bit kind of vinegary and gross. It's because your body no longer like is asking for it. So the more present you're willing to be, the more you'll include it, and the more it will create greater for you, because you won't be using the energy that you have to against yourself, basically. So, what else can I share with you about bodies? What if you didn't judge it for anything that you've decided is wrong with it? So if you've got any kind of issue with your body, like physical issue, what if that is just like firstly, you might like to look at whether or not you've got healing capacities. If you do, you might like to check out the other podcast I did on being a healer, because sometimes you can tend to receive the awarenesses of other people's like body issues and be so kind of like dynamically sensitive with your own body that you can be taking them on and kind of recreating them in your own body. And so if you acknowledge that you're a healer, and acknowledge that you've got choice with that, and be present with your body when you start to create those sorts of things, and acknowledge, okay, this isn't actually mine, and then kind of return it to sender with consciousness attached, you won't have to suffer other people's body issues. But the other thing is, with any kind of body issue that you have, like any kind of disease, any kind of disorder, in order to change it, you've kind of got to unravel and this is just my point of view from the experience that I've had with working with people with bodies, but you've got to be willing to kind of look at the source points of what created that particular condition. So, and that can be many different things. By the time something gets physical, there's often like many different things throughout your life that may have contributed to the creation of something being physical in your body. And so rather than, the reason why I'm kind of like sharing that is because people sometimes, if they're aware that kind of like the foundation for physical conditions is the energy that's kind of creating it, and they're trying to change it, they can often go into judgment for not having done it. And so if you've kind of like got any kind of physical issue and you've been working at changing it and it hasn't changed, it may just be because you've got other source points to look at. So it might not be one thing. And so in order to change any kind of physical condition, you've got to get to allowance of having it in the first place. And from that space, that's when you can actually receive the information required in order to start changing it. So what could I choose to create something different here? Body, what are you trying to tell me? Body, what would I have to let go of in order to change what's going on here? The other thing that can be good to look at is like, what's great about whatever is going on with your body? So people will sometimes create conditions because it serves them in some way. It might be that they subconsciously think that they're going to get cared for if they're sick. It might be that they've got like a resistance to working, and so like being sick means that they, you know, don't have to go to work. Like we can have all sorts of like crazy subconscious points of view that contribute to us creating all sorts of things with our body that consciously we've decided that we don't want, and yet it works for us. And so if you're trying to change something with your body and it's not changing, you want to look at, how is this working for me? What do I love about this? And what else is possible? What would I have to change? What would I have to choose? What would I have to do different in order to create something different with my body here? And then it's like, just like with any kind of, you know, using ask and receive to create your reality, if you're trying to create something different with your body, you can't have a time limit on it. You can't kind of ask your body for information and then get irritated when you don't get it instantly. You've got to be willing to have no kind of attachment to receiving the awareness. So kind of like asking for the change, being present with it, being willing to receive whatever in the moment, and sometimes touching your body because will help you get more awareness as to what's going on. But also kind of acknowledging that that's the direction that you're going in, and then just kind of like getting on with things. And then you may find, you know, you're walking down the street one day and then you get a sense to go into a shop, and in the shop there might be some sort of vitamin that like pops out, you know, at you, or some sort of treatment that you can try that's going to create some sort of change. But what if your body knows exactly what is required in order to change anything? What if you know what is required in order to change anything that isn't working with your body? So what if you didn't need something outside of you in order to fix you or heal your body? What if you had total communion with your body and the willingness to work with it, you and your body can create anything and can create all sorts of magic and miracles. So I hope that inspires you guys to kind of have more of a engagement with your body. Because here's the thing, like, what if we actually created our bodies? What if we actually chose the exact moment, like, that our parents came together to create the body that we're in? Meaning that we chose the exact DNA, you know, the code in which to create what we have. And so what if there is nothing that is wrong with your body? So what's right about your body that you're not getting? What's great about your body that you're not getting? What is the gift of you choosing the body you chose? What are the capacities that it has that you've never acknowledged because it goes way beyond anyone else's reality? So have fun playing with that. I hope that that contributes to your world. If you would like more ease with unlocking body issues or the judgment you have of bodies, I've got a few different Zoom call class things that I'll leave the link for below this video or podcast, so you can check them out if you do require some assistance. Thank you so much for watching or listening, guys, and until next week, see you later.